live and free boys high school soccer about to take over your eyeballs as we've got an all Richland County showdown. Clear Fork on the road tonight to take on Mansfield Christian and a Flame squad that's been burning hot, sizzling to the tune of 3 straight victories. It's all on the way with yours truly, Brian Skowronski, and my man G-Man on the call, and it's coming up next.
Welcome to Richland County's first artificial intelligence ATM. And if you car dance to the song you're listening to now, I will give you $50. See, that's something an ATM can never do.
Oh my gosh, are you serious?
Oh, we're serious.
Gosh, that's awesome. Thank you.
Thank you. We hope your day is a little bit better today.
Yes, thank you.
Maumee Bay Turf Center, a leader in synthetic sports surfaces as well as natural field construction, maintenance, and renovation. Maumee Bay Turf is part of Turf Nation, the most trusted source in the synthetic turf industry, including creating the surface for the biggest game in pro football. From professional, college, and high school sports to recreation and commercial projects. Check them out at MaumeeBayTurfCenter.com and see our large collection of finished projects and services. Maumee Bay Turf Center, we build better.
What's up, America? Brian Skowronski here, and if you want to see me and the gang chop it up with some unintelligent conversation, we've got the show for you. Check out the OH Report video podcast every Monday, exclusively right here on the OH Report. Good evening, folks, and welcome back to Comstock Field for boys high school soccer with Clear Fork invading Mansfield Christian. I'm Brian Skowronski, got Garret Parlett with me here tonight, and we got a Colts team winners in 2 of their last 3 after a little bit of a shaky start, G, so I'm pretty excited to see their development since we had them live and free opening night against Madison in a loss a couple weeks back.
Yeah, a Clear Fork team that I think that they had a couple good losses on the schedule, but they haven't beat the teams that you're supposed to beat to be able to get to that next level. The Madison team they lost to, I think, is a pretty solid team. Norwalk too, and I haven't seen a lot of Huron, but the win over River Valley and Upper, they're supposed to win those games. But tonight, coming in here and playing the Flames, a team that they can beat, but a nice test too for Mansfield Christian.
Scored 12 goals on the season, half of them coming from number 4. The junior really is off. Start to the year.
Connor Hogger. He's a sophomore number 6, Owen Bourne. He's a junior number 8, Bo Galloway. He's a sophomore number 9, Bronson Frost. He's a junior number 10, Jack Douglas. He's a junior number 11, Jaden Beachy. He's a sophomore number 15.
Well, the cliche says that defense wins chips, and I'm not talking about the kind that you dip into queso, G-Man, even though that's delicious too. But it's definitely the kind that wins you some games, and for the Flames, that has been their MO so far, leading them to victories in their last 3.
Last year they caught him loose back there, and Griffin Baker had to sit out to the second half of that year because he transferred from Temple, Brian. But now he has 25 saves throughout their 4 games, 6 per game. So he's back there getting it done. He's been rock solid here for the Flames. That's Griffin Baker. I expect them to rely heavy on their defense against a Clear Fork team like Connor Hawker, obviously, who is putting it in the back of the net at a pretty high level.
Speaking of a high level, John Mark Young is up here in the booth, and if you can't get in the zone ready to play some soccer with the introductions from this guy, you don't have a pulse. So I think that MC, they're going to come out here on their home turf. They haven't played at home in a while. This has been a road dog team. All their wins so far have come away from Comstock Field. So I think they're going to be pumped up tonight, and how can you not be? I'm about ready to jump out the window. It's getting so lit.
He almost makes me not even want to pay attention to what you're saying, Brian. I'm so locked in already saying right now. I mean, I want to run through a brick wall right now. This guy's got my juices flowing, man. You got to shout out to this announcer. This dude is going nuts. But as you mentioned, Brian, Mansfield Christian, they've been the road warriors, but now back at home against a very tough Division II team in Clear Fork, looking to get it done. So D3 versus D2, you got to tip your caps to the Flames. They definitely have a chance here. They got to slow down that attack, though, for the Colts.
I think this is going to be a nice test for both sides. For Clear Fork, you're going against a team that's been defending so well. 3 straight shutouts for Mansfield Christian. Doesn't matter what level or competition that you're playing at. If you're not surrendering any goals, you're going to be successful. And then, of course, on the other side for MC, this is a program that it's got all the great tradition, years and years of the deep playoff runs. Of course, the 2014 state champs, this is their home. However, the last couple of seasons, been topsy-turvy. Some of the worst in their storied history. So are they up for a challenge coming in here hot with 3 straight wins of playing a team like Clear Fork, who they've got a tough schedule, man. Don't be fooled by the 2-3-0 record that they have here. This is going to be a real battle, I think, for Mansfield Christian if they want to get it done.
I think I agree with you, Brian, that it's a great test.
From the mean streets of Logan Road in Mansfield, Ohio, he's working the nets. 10, Christoph Baker! Your Flames are coached by head coach Stephen Armstrong, assisted by Justin Martin, John Malley,
Well,
and Chad McFadden. The athletic director
I think that John Mark might have blown up one of our microphones, so I'll be on the call here by myself, at least for a little bit, until we can get it figured out. But here we go, folks. Soccer action about ready to go down here at Comstock Field. Flames versus Colts. These two teams haven't met in a couple of seasons. Took the last 3 off from competition. When they did last meet, it was Clear Fork a victor on September 19th back in 2019. Beat Mansfield Christian 4-0 at the Colt Corral. Of course, they're going to be looking to do more of the same here tonight on the road. But so many different weapons for this Mansfield Christian unit. They've been spreading the wealth. A lot of love. It hasn't been quite the same story as we've seen from Clear Fork this season, where most of the scoring action has been coming from one player, half to be exact, as we mentioned, from Connor Hogger. It's been more of a mixed bag for Mansfield Christian. G-Man, who back here on the broadcast with me, I mean, a lot of different guys have been in the scoring book.
You're exactly right, Brian. Glad to be back, too, by the way. But, yeah, as you mentioned, Tristan Johnson, he's got 2 goals. Luke Zerby had 2 goals versus Lownville. Grady Baker also in the scoring column, as well as Weston Neal and Max Hoovler. So those are the guys that Mansfield Christian is going to look to get some goals. But shout out to Luke Zerby, had those 2 goals against Lownville in that big win.
We are underway. Big deep ball is going to be broken up by Zerby here on the back line. Colts trying to thread the needle. Oh, my gosh, what a scoring opportunity, but Zerby with the recovery. Sick tackle. And then a nice save with the shot coming from about 30 yards out.
I think that's what Clear Fork's going to have to do is continue to try to put as many shots on goal against this Mansfield Christian team, a team that, saves the ball at a high level. Griffin Baker does with 25 saves, but just try to make him work back there and make him, cover the entirety of the net and see if they can maybe cash in on an opportunity that you might not think is going to fall in, but just because you're taking so many shots, it just kind of gets him on his toes.
Throwing going to be broken up with a header here by the Colts. And they're able to clear out of their territory, at least momentarily. Nobody up top on the left wing for Clear Fork. And what Mansfield Christian traditionally does is they'll spread the field real wide. They're able to work it inside out. They'll have speedy wings. Sometimes they'll press it down into the corners and just allow them to be athletes, chase down some balls. We'll see if that's part of the strategy here tonight. It's a huge throw-in. Takes a Mansfield Christian hop, open right in front, and we've got a goal! Flames on the board first, and it was just right place, right time. Easy does it. Probably the most simple goal that Everett Martin's going to have all year.
And I think that's important for the Flames to get on the board first against a team coming in here. I know that Clear Fork's sitting at 2-0, but a team that you can't overlook. For them to start out here 1-0, it's a big-time goal for the Flames, especially here on the home field, too. Get some momentum and maybe try to lean on your defense here. But what an offensive attack. Just not even 2 full minutes into the game, and the Flames are already on the board.
That was all set up. I think that's Luke Zerby that's got the big, strong arm on the throw-in. He created that entire play. That's basically like a low-key corner kick, almost with even more deadly accuracy, G.
Yeah, right place, right time, right floating it right inside the box, too. And the Flames able to capitalize. Like I said, I think that's a huge goal for them to start out early and get the 1-0 lead. And I mean, they're not backing down, man. They're showing a lot of physicality out here so far. But now Clear Fork looking to get a goal of their own, and they're on the attack.
Yet again, Zerby is there doing his job from the sweeper position, not allowing anything to get by him. This one's going to roll over the touchline. They'll set up a goal kick here for MC.
So far, Clear Fork not really able to get anything to go other than they've pushed it down here a couple times, but Mansfield Christian able to play pretty solid defense, but now looking for it again. There's a nice ball there. This one might connect. Wow.
Yeah,
I was about to say.
There's way too much contact not to get a whistle there. So Jaden Beachy, the midfielder who's been phenomenal so far this season, we'll see if they allow him to set up and take the PK. It looks like Coach Nate Gailey is going to allow that.
Big opportunity here for the Colts. So maybe 2 goals here early, Brian. Not even 4 minutes into this thing.
Beachy just goes straight at it, rifles it into the right corner of the net. No play even attempted to be made that time by Baker. I think it was just perfect placement, and that's exactly what you want. Keep it low to the ground and initiate it into the corner. Beautiful PK execution.
Make him cover the entirety of the net, and that's exactly what Beachy did right there, the junior. Striking for the Colts and tying this thing up at 1 apiece.
So they're going to put a little bit of time on the clock. About 30 more seconds here. And this is my brand of soccer right here, G-Man.
Right.
For all the folks out there that really enjoy their defensive battles, I'm cool with as many big-time goals as we can get. And for Mansfield Christian, it does end a nice streak for them. 3 straight matches, not allowing a single goal, but this is fun stuff.
Yeah, high-pace action, prolific. Both offenses really doing what they want so far. Really going to see which defense steps up here, and a little bit of a gamble there for Mansfield Christian's Kale overrode. So now Clear Fork with the throw in.
Big ball. It's going to probably make its way all the way into the box. It will. Scooped up by Griffin Blakely. This is a great matchup of keepers tonight. Two of the best that we have from Richland County. Blakely going toe-to-toe with Baker. And it might all boil down to who's able to make the big saves at the right time. So far, just a couple of minutes in, a goal for each side.
I know we kind of talked about Griffin Baker a lot for Mansfield Christian, but Griffin Blakely from Clear Fork is no slouch, to really say the least. Out of the 5 games they played this year, 3 he's only allowed 1 goal. One other game was 2 goals. The really bad performance he had was against that Madison team, but that was, the opener of the season. And Madison's going to be, I think, a tough team in this area. So far they've been showing out. Only a couple losses on their schedule, but now Mansfield Christian getting the ball and trying to get on the attack.
Nice pressure here by the Colts surrounding the ball. And somehow that puppy stays in here on the near sideline with Johnson. Laying it off now to Anthony Smith. Back to him. Good give and go. The cross.
Oh.
Just off target. Martin stretched out for it. And now he's going to get whistled for the foul. A little too aggressive there as he knocked down Liam Beer.
Not even sure how that play even developed, Brian. I thought the ball was out of bounds maybe 2-3 times. Somehow it stayed alive and then all the way got up towards the box. And then with the cross, just not able to connect. And then Martin called for the foul. But you got to like the physicality Mansfield Christian is bringing here tonight. So far, really both squads, they've just been going at it. I know it's early in this game, so fatigue could become a factor in that physicality. But nice move right there with the crossover.
Then a big ball that's redirected back the other way. Colts win it in the midfield. Bit of a misplay, but wow, spinning out of there with the circus trick, Bryson Schaffner. Great ball with the setup. Baker comes off his line, and he read that immediately. If he didn't get the initial jump, that could have been double trouble.
Great play from Baker, coming out of the box and going and grabbing that one. Clear Fork could have had an opportunity to maybe make that 2-1 here early in this one, but nice job from Baker to shut it down. But I think you got to give a lot of props, Brian, to soccer players. I don't think they get the love that they truly deserve. Now that I've kind of been in this and kind of
yeah, in what regard, G? Well, where do we need to be more, excited about what they bring?
I think it's one of the most physical sports that's kind of not really acknowledges that, and I'm not really sure why. But I know football is going to get the love because obviously they have to hit every play. But I mean, it seems as if everybody, as soon as somebody touched the ball, I mean, you're getting chased after, and there's some physicality in there, but the endurance, I think, for me is the big one. I mean, you're constantly running, usually for 40 minutes at a time. You might get a stoppage every here and again, but it's pretty much just a 40-minute nonstop jog or even a sprint at times. So I think you got to tip your cap to soccer players because there's some pretty remarkable athletes in that sport.
Well, consider it tipped on my head. Big fan of the beautiful game, and wow, that's going to make the OH report top 10. That was an incredible flick there by Isaac McFadden. I mean, G-Man, break this down. This is just
this is just sick. In a crowd, too, able to just flick it with the top. That's some header cheese right there from Isaac McFadden, splashing that one in the back of the net. What a play. I mean, that's OH top 5 history. I think that goes down.
So 2-1 MC back in front, 33-26 here to go in the opening half. So it is a smorgasbord of offense here in the early going at Comstock Field. Two teams that kind of been hanging their hats on defense here the last week and a half or so.
I was Hogger trying to put on the dance moves on the defender, but not able to capitalize, but this should result in a Clear Fork corner. Taking that corner kick will be Jaden Beachy, the junior. He already has 1 goal to his name, Brian, so maybe trying to look for the assist here. Maybe a little cross that'll work in.
It's well defended Two Flames converge. Headed out by Everode, who takes a lick. So back to your point, yeah, a lot of physicality here in the early going of this match. And I think to your point of why soccer players are maybe overlooked for the physicality is that at the pro game, you're rewarded when you really demonstrate that you got hurt on a play just to get the whistle and the call. So it's part of it. You don't see it as much at the high school level, but it's built into soccer where it's just assumed if you go down really hard that it's because you're acting, and that's not always the case.
I feel like this day and age it's kind of growing to be like that, especially in basketball. I think that's one of the biggest things that I think about in basketball, about flopping. But, I mean, some of these hits that these soccer kids are taking, I mean, they're pretty damaging. I mean, it's some serious play out there, man. They're taking this game pretty serious, and just 10 minutes in here, in this 2-1 game, what a back-and-forth battle we got. Only 10 minutes, and we got 3 goals already on the board.
Here's Luke Zerby, who had the huge throw-in earlier, and excellent side spin. Referee said brought it sideways over his head? So it's going to give the ball over to Clear Fork. Got the throw in here to Beachy. Looking to make a move. Draws 3 defenders, but the giveaway. Great looking ball into space. Johnson. Probably waited a touch too long. Wasn't able to get a shot off, but MC reclaims with Smith. Bullet pass in there, and it's intercepted here by the Colts, trying to set up a counterattack. Just nothing's going to materialize here for Clear Fork with Nick Martin kind of hitting the deck.
Thought Mansfield Christian was going to get an opportunity there on that breakaway. That's Tristan Johnson. He's got 2 goals on the year so far, but looking to change it up here.
Oh, tons of contact there with Max Hoovler in the box. So no call, and officials typically, they get a little bit tight-lipped when the action's going on inside the 18. They don't want to have too big of an impact on the game. Certainly looked like Hoovler kind of got shoved down, though, G.
Yeah, I definitely agree with that one, Brian. I mean, there was a lot of contact there, but I think once the ref sets the precedent that, we're going to let you be physical here tonight, I think you have to stay with that. He's been letting them play, out here in the midfield area. He didn't change up, when they got closer to the box, but maybe a harder sell next time. Maybe go up to that professional level and maybe sell that call.
And I'm not a huge soccer fan, but I'm all for it. If it gets the call, I honestly, I don't care. It doesn't bother me at all. It's part of the sport, and if you want to cry about it, guess what? If it gets the whistle, that's all that matters for your team.
Exactly.
I would almost encourage my soccer players to be in the drama club, at least for a semester, get a feel for it.
Take some acting classes.
No question. Ricochet ends up with Mansfield Christian. Working it side to side here. Now Everode puts a beautiful ball out here on the near side for Anthony Smith. Nice ball movement. I like these foot skills of these kids up top for MC.
Yeah, they're doing a lot of damage, and now Mansfield Christian not able to capitalize on that one.
This looks like we're going to get a deep throw in, and of course that means Luke Zerby. Big launch. Blakely mishandles, comes down right on his head. Boy, you hope he's okay. That was a nasty spill. Those are ones that make you leery anytime you're talking about the head or neck region. Could be serious consequences. Love that he popped up so quick.
Yeah, tough kid. Blakely is. Hopefully able to, at least looks okay. Not giving really any concern to the sideline, but hopefully he's able to shake that off. Looks like a couple subs now for Clear Fork in for Blakely.
So Griffin's obviously going to sub out here for at least a little bit. So they'll have to bring in a new keeper. And if Griffin wants to check back in, maybe they can use him in the field. He's such a versatile threat. And kind of grabbing his back right now, G-Man. So, I mean, that was a rough way to go down.
Especially now with the new goalkeeper coming in. Maybe if you're Mansfield Christian, you try to take as many shots as you can and try to work him in. If you're the Flames, try to test him as much as possible. Coming right off the bench.
So I believe it's going to be Sam Swindoll who's going to be checking in here for the Colts. As the Colts looking to get it out of their own territory. MC with lots of bodies. They've got a huge high press up top.
I think they're kind of taking that motto, what I was saying, Brian. Maybe try to press up here. New goalkeeper in the game. Some the defense isn't used to working with as much as, Griffin Blakely back there. See if Mansfield Christian gets some shots. Maybe not even great shots. Just try to put it, towards the net and see if, Swindell can step up there and try to save the Colts here.
Ball just mismeasured, trying to get it to the outside of the perimeter for Oliver Kramer. So it'll lead to a Clear Fork throw-in, 26-52 and rolling here in the opening half. MC off to a nice start. Looking for their 4th consecutive victory and their first win over Clear Fork since 2018.
And so Christian trying to push the tempo here. But at the same time, still being patient, not forcing anything down the field. Not turning it over. And nice move there to not turn it over. And here's that shot, Brian. But that one's going to be a little bit wide right. So I think they kind of took my game plan, Brian. Maybe they're watching the broadcast here.
Definitely got OS Report open on the sideline. McFadden paying attention to some of the details. G-Man in his second ever soccer broadcast, I think.
Right.
Bringing the knowledge. But you got to stick with that game plan. You're absolutely right. This kid coming fresh off of the bench. No game action yet up to this point. So I'm about that life at any time. Just make the keeper move out and have to do something.
Make him work as all as possible. Try to drain him out. He gets a lot of breaks back there, especially when his team's out on offense. And now Clear Fork out on offense, keeping Swindell steady back there, but they're going to keep possession down here, Brian.
And so far, I'm digging the strategy by Mansfield Christian on Connor Hogger. He's almost getting face guarded. They've more or less got Davis Wyszynski just following him around out there. So anytime he's coming into a position to get the ball, there's usually another defender in help side as well. As that one blistered in low, knocked out of there by MC. So Clear Fork going to have to reset with the ball coming from the back line. And there is Wyszynski.
I think with a guy like Hogger, that's what you got to do. You got to stop him at the point of attack and really try not to even let him get the ball in his hands. Because when he gets the ball in his hands, he can do a lot of damage. He scored 6 of the Clear Fork 12 goals throughout the entire year. He's really been their driving force in the offense. Just keep the ball out of his hands at all possible, face guard him, and really make them play and score through somebody else.
They've got Connor up top playing as the lone striker right now. Certainly be looking for him if they can start heading in that direction. Nice work right there by Johnson to shake loose.
Oh.
I mean, this kid's a treat to watch.
He's putting the ball skills out on full display. Is now, whoa, what a save. Newly inserted back into the lineup is Griffin Blakely and makes an impact, Brian, as soon as he steps back on the field with a tremendous diving stave.
I think I was more impressed by the setup by McFadden to even find the kid with the header there in the box. You can tell Mansfield Christian's got a lot of continuity on the offensive end. There's great communication out here. Looks a lot more like the Flames teams of the past that we came accustomed to know, where, 2-3 losses in a season for them, and they were head scratchers.
They've been passing the ball with tremendous precision. They've had a couple great setups. They had the header score, and then we almost had another one here if Blakely wasn't able to extend out, all of that 6-foot frame to be able to put a glove on it. But so far, Mansfield Christian look like less than Neal. Cleat fell off and hit him right in the face. Brian looks like he's going to be okay, though, but this one not able to materialize into nothing.
Blakely with a big punt. Huge leap there by McFadden to go up and over Bronson Frost. Here comes Peters looking for some options. Gets lucky that he finds Beer. But he runs into a double team, so back and forth. Turnover city out here right now. And it continues.
Brian, it's kind of a unique setup that Mansfield Christian has here at Comstock Field. The fans can sit right on the sidelines in the lawn chairs, but you play a dangerous game. You get on the phone, check the Snapchats, check the Instagram, maybe play a little Flappy Bird if you still got it on your phone. Brian, I know you do. You got it on your old phone,
believe
don't you?
It, buddy.
So, if you still got that on your phone, you got to pay attention out there. You might get hit.
And that was nearly a big hit by Martin looking for his second goal. Clear Fork did well to defend. Now looking to flip the field. Mansfield Christian again. They've done an excellent job of getting back and not allowing a counterattack to really get formulated on the Clear Fork side.
Other than that penalty kick, Clear Fork hasn't had that many opportunities, but a lot of their offense comes from the guy with the ball, and what an in-and-out move right there by Hogger.
And he's just going to shoot it out into space, but to nobody in particular, way too far for Sam Swindoll. And now Clear Fork going to get in a quick sub. Looks like Peter's going to take a seat. As Hayden Wilson, the sophomore, checking in. He's going to play outside mid.
Rocking the headband, too, to keep the lettuce back. A little bit of drip. You got to like that.
It's a good look on the soccer field. And I think that, if I could get my high school card back and I could have a couple of years of eligibility, I'd probably grow out a little bit of lettuce myself. I think the headband, certainly in this sport, it's worth it. It works. And that's why you see so many kids using it these days. Matter of fact, at least on the girls' side, there's just this new foam material that they're all rocking. They just rip off a little piece and then they tie it on. I just got introduced to this a couple of nights ago. It's kind of a cool substance.
Is it like it's like the wrist tape stuff, isn't it?
More or less.
Yeah, because I've seen that when I used to play. Our athletic trainer used to, I've seen him, give it to girls to put as headbands. But I used to rock, Brian, the shirt sleeve. You just cut the shirt sleeve off.
Oh, yeah.
Rock that as a headband. But it would always suck, though, because, when you put your helmet on, it would just slide down. So it was always kind of a pain to get it on. And sometimes you're like, I don't have time. We just got to move on. But
see, back in my day, in the early 2000s, that was new technology, cutting the shirt sleeve off. Right. I would have thought by 2018, 2019, when you were playing G-Man, they would have figured something out better.
See, it would be a lot better once it got sweaty. Because, we had a little bit of room, but if it was dry, it was a pain to get on. It would take a couple teammates, 2-3 teammates, hold the back down, pull the helmet in, get on the field and get ready to go.
Thank goodness for stores like Under Armour figuring this all out, so we don't got to cut the sweaty sleeves off our tees anymore for headbands. Down to 19:20 to go here in this opening half. Hogger, the work rate's getting up a little bit more now. You can see, I think some frustration set in that he wasn't getting the touches that he's accustomed to.
I think it's a great the saying of you're not going to completely stop him, but just try to limit him. Limit Hager's touches. He's going to kick in. He's going to kick in another gear. He's that kind of player where he's going to find the ball. It's just when he does, you got to make sure, you got a couple guys, you got your eyes on him because, when he gets the ball in his hands, it's a dangerous game. You don't want to let him, get open space and get a shot on goal.
Here's Wilson sending it into space. Hager cutting it back up against the grain. Tried to set it up for the left-footed shot. Wyszynski was there, as he has been mirroring him all night long. And a whistle goes against Hager in the Colts. So it's going to be a restart here with Wyszynski handling for MC. Perfect night for soccer. I mean, the weather just gorgeous here. Got the incredible backdrop of all the trees. The end of summer just doesn't get much better than this, G.
And I think Comstock Field, Brian, is one of the better soccer fields in the area just because of where the location is. It's kind of like how Clear Fork is with their football field. Well, I got to go here, Brian.
Oh, great job of coming out from Blakely. I thought that was going to be a deadly ball into Martin. Again, looking for his second goal. But Griff, one of the best in the business, got a good read on it.
Since he's came back into the game after that, kind of scary injury there about halfway through the first half, he's been pretty flawless. He stopped a couple balls. That header attempt that they had, he stopped. Just kind of had a rough start. Mansfield Christian, they came out, with an open flame. We were able to cash in a couple goals. But other than those first couple minutes, Brian, it's been a pretty, tight-knit defensive battle here since like the 33rd minute.
That one's headed out of the box by the Colts, but right down to Weston Neal. Trying to get loose, did shake by a couple of defenders, still rolling with it. And he's going to earn a corner kick.
Talk about agility right there. Change of direction, speed, just stopping and going. Hit him with in and out moves. And setting up his team, his Flames, for a nice corner kick here with 16:46 remaining in the first half.
It's heading back posts. Head got on it that time from Smith. Wasn't on frame, though. Blakely handles.
I kind of want to bring this up, Brian. I kind of just talked about it real quick. Now, I've never played soccer, but how hard is it not to use your hands? You ever a soccer player? I feel like it's a lot harder than people think it is. You just get accustomed to it.
Yeah, I would just say no. I mean, soccer guys, they don't even think about using their hands at a certain point, so it's not a big deal once you're living and breathing it and you're practicing it.
Right.
At least after about age 9 or 10. Because there's still the thought process when the ball's coming at your chest or your head until they don't even coach you really to do headers until you're double digits in age. So after about that, I mean, these kids, yeah, it's not even an afterthought for them. Another nice header out by McFadden. He's a pretty superior athlete, man. We've seen him sky for about 3 headers so far in this first half.
I think that's an aspect in soccer, too, that can sometimes go unseen as being able to use your head. And a lot of these Mansfield Christian guys, man, they're not afraid, to stick the head out there, and they got a goal off of it so far here tonight. And now trying to play some defense here as Clear Fork pushing up.
It's Nick Martin. Ran into some trouble, broken up. And now Hager taking his time, but getting ripped. Max Hubler with an excellent tackle. And now MC got some numbers building, heading forward. But off the turnover, it's Clear Fork now. With a deep shot. Wow! Big save by Baker. As this one, I mean, this was streamlining. I think it's going to go in.
I didn't think Baker realized how good of a shot it was until the last second. It was a great job and great save from Baker just to stick a paw out there and block that one out. But I don't think he realized how good of a shot it was until it was kind of too late.
They're going to say it went over the touchline for a goal kick. Pretty even matchup that we have so far. MC with the 2 goals. They've taken advantage of more of their opportunities. No scores since the 32-36 mark, and we're now sub 14 minutes to go before the break.
Gotta tip your cap to the Flames. They came out here ready to go. Really been matched. Clear Fork's physicality and their aggressiveness, but they just play great defense. Clear Fork really hasn't had that many opportunities right at the net. They've kind of had to play outside of that, box area and try to take as many shots from distance, and nothing's really materialized other than that penalty kick score that they had, and that was Beachy.
Wilson with the throw-in. Beachy wasn't able to make that first touch come down at his feet. Great looking turn there by Wyszynski. Just off target, trying to hook up with Johnson, but it's poked out of bounds, and the Flames will retain possession. Looks like this one's going to stay in bounds all the way down. So Everode back to Baker.
Just kind of seeing a little bit of a lack of effort some plays, Brian, from Clear Fork. Just miscommunication there as Mansfield Christian was able to get it, but not able to do anything with it. As now Clear Fork will get the ball back in their hands. Or their feet, I should say, Brian.
I think sometimes it's tough to judge whether somebody should go 100% full effort after a ball when you're up here in the booth,
right?
Versus they got just a little bit better look at it. So I think that there are times when you're watching and you're like, man, that kid's just not going as hard as we think. And then there's other times where they're probably a lot farther from the ball and
right.
They just don't have the beat. And you don't want to waste your energy. There's no sense in going 120% and trying to get there when you know that there's a guy with the speed like of a Tristan Johnson that's got a little beat on it. So maybe a little bit of a combo here in this first half. Mansfield Christian's got a lot better athletes, I think, than perhaps Clear Fork was anticipating. And this is a program that they've had to grow over the last couple of years. You look back to 2018, just 6 wins for them, and that was a really down year. 5 the next 2 years after that. Finally got a winning season in 2021, and now they're looking to build off of it, off to a great start, looking for 4 straight dubs if they can knock off the Colts here tonight.
So far, so good for the Flames. Up 2-1 here with 10:58 remaining in this first half. I think for them it would be a great opportunity maybe to cash in and maybe try to get another goal on this board just to kind of separate there and kind of give yourself just a bit more, of that lead. To maybe give yourself some more confidence and just some more momentum heading into the halftime mark.
To see where the official marks the ball out at.
Whew.
Yeah, Zerby, that's a special weapon that he has. Wow, what a play. The shot. And Blakely makes the right move. Didn't get a paw on it. He's seen that he was trending off target. But Johnson, the ability to get around the defenders like that. Check this out on the Knox Community Hospital replay. This is special.
Tremendous crossover. And as you mentioned, heads-up play from Blakely. Not to get his hands on that one, was going out of bounds. And great awareness from him just to know where the goal's at. From you got to kind of have eyes in the back of your head, and now maybe a big opportunity here for Hogger and the Colts.
Big touch, turns it in. No question, he got fouled. So another PK. That's how Clear Fork got their only score thus far. And you imagine the Connors going to get the opportunity to try to smash this one in. And just too much speed, G.
Clear Fork won the last PK. It was their only goal here tonight, and kind of a matchup that you could say you were looking forward to. Connor Hogger versus Griffin Baker here. 2 studs from their respective clubs going one-on-one here for the PK, and this is a big goal too. Clear Fork's able to knock this in, tie this thing up, and go to the halftime break with momentum.
Same spot, same result. Hogger into the back right portion of the net, kept it low. Drove it in where the keeper had no shot at getting it.
Keeps the streak alive, Brian. Still scoring half of Clear Fork's goals throughout the season. Now they're up to 13, and Hoggers up to 7.
9:44 to go before the break. Clear Fork knotting things up with the equalizer right there. So Hogger goal number 7 on the season. And happy birthday, Quentin Kahn. Got some fans watching out in the YouTube land. Maybe he can get in, make a nice big impact on his birthday. And there's just a little bit something special to playing on your B-Day. Not that I would know. My birthday's at the end of March, and it was always at the end of basketball season, and it was too early before track season. So I didn't really get to participate. But I imagine guys that play on their birthday, they got a little something extra.
I feel like you have to. My birthday's middle of August, so we were typically either practicing or scrimmaging.
So we have no idea.
Yeah, so I really don't have a clue either, Brian, so I can't really help you there. But I feel like to pick up a big win on your birthday, like imagine like a game winner or something on your birthday. Like that's got to be incredible.
That one's going to trickle into the hands of the keeper. Martin had the right intention, kept it low, just didn't have a whole lot of sauce behind it. Unofficially got Mansfield Christian for 9 shots, 7 of them on net.
Well, Ryan, they've been playing pretty great offensively, but it kind of slowed down over the last couple of minutes. Clear Fork's been able to capitalize, and I think it's because they're getting the ball into Connor Hogger a little bit more. He had the penalty kick, and if you get him in the box, he's going to do some damage, whether he's drawing a foul or making a goal in the back of the net, making a pass, setting up a teammate. You got to watch out for this Connor Hogger dude. The man is a stud, to say the least.
Expecting him to probably be in the All-Ohio conversation at the end of the season. Certainly if he keeps up the pace that he's had so far. And for Clear Fork, I mean, it's been a tough start for them, just the amount of games that they played here for the first couple of weeks. Winners in 2 of their last 3 over Upper Sandusky and River Valley at home after dropping that 2-1 defeat at Huron. But they've also played the likes of Madison and Norwalk here already. 5 matches in the books for them. They get a little bit of a break coming up, G. They're not going to play again until September 7th after tonight. And then they get a 5-day layoff before they have their huge match against Ontario. And then an 8-day layoff before Pleasant. So for Clear Fork, this is a game probably just, I mean, you better leave it all out here. You're going to have plenty of opportunity. And I don't even know what will happen.
It's a tremendous, tremendous corner kick.
What?
And then making a splash, I believe, was Isaac McFadden. Once again, that was his 2nd header of the game. I mean, that was tremendous setup from his teammate with the corner kick. And some header cheese to top it off to take the 3-2 lead with 7:19 in this first half.
I got to see this cheddar. Busy down looking at my notes, and then all of a sudden, John Mark literally startled me. I thought there was a bumblebee or something coming at my face. Instead, just 6 goals. And Mansfield Christian taking the lead. So with just over 7 minutes to go before the halftime break, MC strikes. McFadden with his 2nd of the night. And back and forth we go. It's been a seesaw battle on the scoreboard with MC striking first, and then they've just traded goals since.
I didn't really know what to expect from Mansfield Christian here today, coming in and playing a Clear Fork team, which I think is a pretty solid team. And Zerby, once again, with the massive throw. And another header from Mansfield Christian. This one from Grady Baker, but that one is going to be saved by Blakely.
It's just such a unique weapon to have, and so few teams have a kid that can chuck the ball quite like a Luke Zerby. And with such deadly accuracy.
I think for Clear Fork, Brian, the past couple of years, they've kind of been overshadowed by the likes of, Ontario, or even obviously that Lexington team a couple of years ago that you made a deep run in the postseason. But I think this might be the year they're able to shock some teams. I know the tough start, but as you mentioned, they're going to get some rest over the next couple of weeks and maybe be able to regroup. I mean, that at Ontario game is going to be a big showdown. That's a great test. That's always one of the better games in the in the area at the time. So I think we're all looking forward to that game. But talk about Mansfield Christian. I mean, they're not just hanging tough. You know, I mean, they're taking it to the Colts here so far here tonight. Their offensive ability has been great. They've been sharing the ball, you know, with Wealth and finding teammates. And Isaac McFadden using the header to his ability and splashing in 2 of those puppies to give the Flames a 3-2 lead here in the first half.
They've got a really nice collection of talent. When you look at him, the likes of Tristan Johnson, Zerby, certainly Everett Martin. The nucleus up top for Mansfield Christian, they've been playing well with each other, but they have the individual skill set, something that this program has been lacking for the last few years. But these kids now, they're developed for another season, and it looks like it might be coming together for them a little bit ahead of schedule here. As that whistle's going to go against Beer, and we'll set up a free kick here for MC as we're sub 5 minutes to go here in the opening half. Beautiful night on the south side of Mansfield. Flames looking for their 4th straight win. Clear Fork coming off of a dub over River Valley, trying to string together their first winning streak of the season.
Be big here if Mansfield Christian try to put one in. Take a 4-2 lead going into the half, but I think Clear Fork's going to try to obviously limit that, as they're looking to get back and tie this puppy up. See if they can maybe get into the likes of Connor Hogger and really let him facilitate the offense. But right now, Zerby's got a cannon, Brian. I mean, we might want to check out his arms. He might have, an attached cannon to his arm.
I think we need to do some sports science with him and just measure how far he can throw the soccer ball.
I mean, that last throw, I would say that's at least 30 yards. At minimum, I would say at least 30.
I got to know. I got to know what the real answer is. So I think we need to get him out on the turf and just kind of chuck it from the end zone line, and let's see how far that sucker can fly.
It's got a great rotation, too. Nice little backspin. You've seen the gorgeous view right there, Brian, as you mentioned. Down here, just kind of in the woods. It's a nice little vibe as Clear Fork trying to cash in. They're not going to be able to.
Yeah, I'd like to see some more bleachers get put up here on the near side. There's enough for about 50 fans to sit, so that's why, if you want to sit, you got to bring your own chair. But you're right. You're a little bit of risk. It's the best seat in the house, so maybe I don't know what I'm talking about. Maybe the MC fans kind of like it this way.
Well, when I was walking in, Brian, as the girls were playing, I kind of stopped up there on the hill. I think that might be, if you're just going to watch it as a normal fan, maybe not be as close to the action. Up there on the hill, up top right here, you get a great view. You get the entire field. You get the backdrop. You get the wonderful, wilderness and the trees. So
Sure.
I think up top on the hill, that would be where I'm picking to sit.
And that's what I'm saying. Like up there to the top left, where you've seen those fans that you're referring to, couple of seats put in, built in.
I don't think that hurt.
I'm sure there's some generous donors with some kids going to school here, and might be able to help out one day. We'll see. Maybe the OH Report bleachers can get put in. We're at the 2-minute warning here of the opening half. Oh, I see even our signs up there, so it's like it's destined to be.
Yeah, that's where we actually stopped to put the sign up. That's why I actually remember that moment. But, I kind of looked at, Adam, our director, and was like, this is like the best seat in the house. I mean, you get the whole view.
Nice tackle by Wyszynski, but taken right back by Clear Fork. And I think the pressure that time by Hogger forced that arid pass. As we're under 90 seconds to go, always short time goals just, I think, carry a little bit more meaning. You get that momentum going into the half. For Mansfield Christian, it would be massive. Clear Fork, big feather in their cap, certainly.
So don't want to fall asleep if you're either squad here, especially on the defensive end. You don't want to stay on your toes, head on a swivel. Because a late goal here in this half for Mansfield Christian, I think, will do wonders and try to put this game away before we even head to the second half.
Nice pressure by McFadden. And this one on the outside of the 18. Now the Flames being chased out. A lot of defenders packed in right now for the Colts.
I think Clearfork now just going to try to hang on here, play great defense for this last 30 seconds, and Mansfield Christian going to do the exact opposite. Try to push the pace, but talk about a move right there from Beachy. Able to stick his leg out there and play some great defenses now. Under 20 seconds remaining in the half.
There's that sidewinding, just super toss. And this is where he's super deadly. Down to 10 seconds. Zerby waiting for some bodies to all funnel in there. But the Colts do their job, at least for now. McFadden rips one at the horn, and that's going to take us to the break. MC leads Clear Fork 3-2, 40 minutes in. And it was an exciting first 40 minutes at that. Keep it here. We'll break down some first half stats, a little bit of analysis, tell you what's coming up this week on the OH Report. And as always, half number 2 on the way, live and free. We'll be right back, exclusively on the OH Report.
Maumee Bay Turf Center, a leader in synthetic sports services as well as natural field construction, maintenance, and renovation. Maumee Bay Turf is part of Turf Nation, the most trusted source in the synthetic turf industry, including creating the surface for the biggest game in pro football. From professional, college, and high school sports to recreation and commercial projects, check them out at MaumeeBayTurfCenter.com and see our large collection of finished projects and services. Maumee Bay Turf Center, we build better.
Welcome to Richland County's first artificial intelligence ATM. And if you car dance to the song you're listening to now, I will give you $50. See, that's something an ATM can never do.
Oh my gosh, are you serious?
Oh, we're serious.
Gosh, that's awesome. Thank you.
Thank you. We hope your day is a little bit better today.
Yes, thank you.
Maumee Bay Turf Center, a leader in synthetic sports services as well as natural field construction, maintenance, and renovation. Maumee Bay Turf is part of Turf Nation, the most trusted source in the synthetic turf industry, including creating the surface for the biggest game in pro football. From professional, college, and high school sports to recreation and commercial projects, check them out at MaumeeBayTurfCenter.com and see our large collection of finished projects and services. Maumee Bay Turf Center. We build better.
What's up, America? Brian Skowronski here, and if you want to see me and the gang chop it up with some unintelligent conversation, we've got the show for you. Check out the OH Report video podcast every Monday, exclusively right here on the OH Report.
It's halftime here on the south side of Mansfield, where it's 3-2 so far in favor of Mansfield Christian. Here's how we got there with the halftime stats, presented by Park National Bank. G-Man, this was a really exciting first 40 minutes of action, no question about it. More shots taken by Mansfield Christian. They were able to get in their zone a lot better, I think, and defended pretty good when they had their opportunities. The only snafus were the 2 times that they fouled inside of the box and led to Clear Fork penalty kicks.
Thank you for Mansfield Christian. They came out, hot immediately. They were able to get that goal, I think, with 38 minutes remaining in that first half. And then Jaden Beachy of Clear Fork was able to get that penalty kick to go. And then after that, it was kind of, 2-1 for a little bit, and then Clear Fork was able to strike. That was Connor Hogger. He had the other penalty kick for the Clear Fork Colts, and they were able to knock that one in and cash in. But I think for Clear Fork, their offense, they started getting a little better towards the end of that half, and they started getting it more to Connor Hogger. He was getting open a little bit. Maybe a little bit of frustration was brewing. Mansfield Christian doing a great job with him through about that first half of that first half. So I think for Clear Fork, the ball has to go through Connor Hogger's hands if they want a chance to win this game. And I think Mansfield Christian was a bit surprised about how, open they were able to get, and they were doing a great job passing the ball. One of those corner kicks went for a score, and it was off of a header to Isaac McFadden, who has 2 headers here tonight, and both have went into the back of the net. So I think for Clear Fork, they might be just a little shocked, that Mansfield Christian has come out here and kind of set the tone. They've been the tone setter here in that first half, and that's why they got that 3-2 lead.
Yeah, they did score first. Everett Martin less than 2 minutes into the match, and it was kind of like, whoa. MC coming out sizzling, 3 straight wins, playing with a lot of confidence. Then, less than a minute later, Beachy gets loose in the box. He gets fouled. He ties it up with the PK. And then only about 3 minutes after that, McFadden with the gorgeous header. Like we said, maybe one of the 10 best soccer highlights that we've had on the OH Report. Phenomenal play to put MC back on top. And then it took a while. About 22 more minutes of game action before Connor Hogger finally made his mark on the match. To your point, I think he was kind of feeling like, hey, I'm not doing normal Connor Hogger stuff. Took it upon himself to just take over the match for a little bit. At the 9:44 mark, he was able to knot things up. But then just a couple of minutes later, McFadden with the beautiful header again, his second of the night, gave MC the 3-2 lead. which is where we're at right now as we're recapping all of these fine highlights. Here's the PK by Hogger. And both of the penalty kicks by the Colts put in the exact same spot, so sometimes that's great coaching. Maybe you've seen something on tape where a lot of times as a goalkeeper, which I was for quite a few years growing up, you're just guessing. You're trying to get a bead watching the players' eyes when they're coming up, and wherever it looks like they're looking, you are just diving that direction. So perhaps they thought that maybe Baker was one of those players that typically dives to the right, or maybe it's just all a matter of chance. Not really sure. We'll have to talk to those guys after the match, but both successful PKs, and that's how we've gotten to the point where we are 3-2.
I think going up to a penalty kick, I think that your mindset has to be, let's make the goalie, use the entire length of his body, make him stretch out and make him, use every fingertip and every inch that he can to try to cover that goal. And I think that's what Hogger did with his kick in the bottom right. And then, as you mentioned, Beachy early in the game, that's what he did when he exact same spot. I mean, exact same play. They didn't add any height to it. It was on the ground, straight line drive to that bottom right corner, and it splashed in. So now maybe if Clear Fork gets another penalty kick, what do you think if you're Baker back there trying to stop another penalty kick? That's my question. If I was a goalkeeper, it's just a guessing game at that point. Like I don't know what would be your game plan in that sense or regard.
Be super rare to see 3 PKs during a match that wouldn't come in a tournament scenario where you actually go to the penalty kick shootout, which Mansfield Christian has been involved with before, time or two. So maybe we'll get that opportunity to see. I think for Mansfield Christian, they've defended so aggressively that it wouldn't be out of the question for them to give up another goal that way. And sometimes I don't hate it to go ahead and make them earn it. I thought that maybe Hoggers, when he got fouled, it didn't seem like he was going to have like a breakaway type of look on the net. That one was kind of a 50-50 bang-bang play. But the other one with Beachy, sometimes, just drag him down. Make him earn it at the PK stripe.
It's like sending a basketball player to the free throw line. They can be easy bunnies, but at the same time, you got a guy back there. You trust your goalkeeper and Baker. You guys have played through these scenarios in practice, game on the line type situation. But I think we're getting ready for the second half and a little bit of a malfunction, Brian.
Well, no, it looks like Clear Fork's ready for the second half, of course. I mean, that was a buzzer just to let them know that, hey, halftime's over. Now we got to reset the clock. It's usually another 10 seconds after that before you get going. Here we go.
Well, they're going to need that energy, Brian, to come out here in the second half. And I think Mansfield Christian came out a little bit more motivated, to get this one. But I think Clear Fork, they settled in a little bit. They got the ball to Hogger, the guy that opens up their offense and gets them going in their sets. But now Clear Fork's going to have to do with the attacking. They're not going to be able to sit back and be kind of conservative. They're going to get the ball in their hands, and they do here. See if they can get something going on this side of the field.
One of my favorite things about soccer that you don't get in almost any other sport is that where you put your players, it can totally change the dynamic and the flow of how your team operates. Like Hogger, we saw up top, he was playing solo striker for a lot of the match there in the first half. They've got him at left outside mid here to start the second half. So maybe Nate Gailey has identified something that he sees. They want to attack from that or try to conserve some energy. I never know what the strategies are behind these coaches, but I do know that Luke Zerby's going to chuck this thing into the box and that they're going to have a chance. Not this time, though. Blakely skies up, mishandled it at least at first, and now he rolls it out on the fly. Great chance for a counterattack, but it hits right off Schaffner. He's able to at least recover here. Deflected by Wyszynski off the cross. So the Colts, what looked like was going to materialize with an excellent look at a counterattack. Mansfield Christian able to recover.
And the throw-in down here from Zerby looks like they're going for another header there. They believe in that. They got 2 goals here and 2 of them for both from McFadden, but great play right there from Baker to step in and save that one and set up the Colts there, but nothing able to materialize off of it.
Wyszynski plays it right off the shin guards of Beachy. So Flames with a throw-in. And guess who's going to take it? Duh. Now here's Smith. Nice job by McCauley just to rip him. Cross didn't exactly have the pace that he was expecting for Swindell. Needed to carry another 5-6 feet.
Oh, Mansfield Christian, they're trying to push the pace here. But Clear Fork
Yeah, it was a
trying to rip
nice
it
carry.
away.
Good run by Wyszynski, taking it back from his defensive spot. But then it results in a penalty against Mansfield Christian.
So now Clear Fork here with another opportunity to try to push the pace and tie the score up. Still 3-2, just 3 minutes into the second half. Sitting at 36:55 remaining.
Now a foul against Clear Fork as we're diving into the fan zone. Say what's up to Anna Smith. Come on, Colts. Jasmine Smith cheering on Clear Fork as well. Looks like a lot of CF support out there in the fan zone tonight, but a lot of Mansfield Christian fans here at the stadium.
Yeah, Brian, they're lined up for the full length of the field almost.
It was a doubleheader tonight. Varsity girls action before this with the same two teams playing. Clear Fork with a dominant effort. I believe the final score of that one was 8-2. It was kind of going back and forth. It was 3-2. Mansfield Christian made it towards the end of the first half, but then it was all Clear Fork in the second. As the Lady Colts continue to keep their swagger. They've been playing great ever since the opening week.
We kind of thought that was going to be a great barometer, too, for that Lady Flame squad, Brian. Going up against a Clear Fork team. The Flames were 2-1-1 headed into that game. Not able to get it done. But, a team that's traditionally pretty good on the girls' squad for the Lady Flames, and this one's not going to materialize anything.
Well, we'll set up a corner kick here for the Colts. So they'll get a chance to try to put together a set piece. A lot of bodies coming up. They'll leave 2 at midfield, back to defense. Flames packing 10 defenders. Well struck back posts. I don't even know how Baker got that in his hands.
I don't either, because I thought he was already on the ground when Hogger went for it. They're trying to position Hogger, and here's the replay.
Wow.
Oh.
Yeah.
Talk about a save.
So that's just one of those right place, right time type of moments for Baker.
And heads-up play, too. Because Hogger, if Baker wasn't paying attention there when he went to the ground, it might have snuck past him. It might have been a goal. Here's another look on the Knox Community Hospital replay. Somehow, some way, he caught that, Brian, with staying in the same mind frame. Did not, brace your fall or anything.
Flames are looking to flip the field into the attacking third, but instead it's the Colts stampeding back the other way. Everode with a nice pressure. Put the ball up for grabs. One-timer. Baker handles it. Well struck there by Swindell. Nice setup by the Colts, but even better keeping in between the pipes.
I want to talk about some power with that kick. Sam Swindell somehow getting his leg up there, and that was a missile, too. Great hands from Baker to stop that one.
Blakely off the punt. Rolls out of bounds here on the near side. It'll end up in the hands of Mansfield Christian. Off the deflection, Hoovler. Sends middle. Now McFadden with a nice ball out to the wing. So after Owen Bourne breaks that one up, they'll send in Mr. Luke Zerby.
So they're going to get a chance probably, Brian, to use a header here.
McFadden was trying to line up a big left-footed kick as he went down to the ground. And that one's going to be popped up over the top of the net and out of play.
Just opportunity there for Mansfield Christian. Had Zerby, the guy they wanted, thrown it in, but McFadden not able to get that shot off. Is good defense from the Colts. And that one just skies over the goal.
.31:40 to go here in half number 2. No scoring yet here in the second stanza.
Not the same story we got in the first half in the early goings. Back and forth battle, as you mentioned. It scored at the 38-minute mark, 36, 32. Then nothing until about the 9-minute mark to those last 10 minutes, Brian, in that first half. Things came back alive.
These are two teams that have been kind of hanging their hat on the defensive side. Clear Fork giving up just 2.1 goals per match. Mansfield Christian 0.2 goals per competition. Only allowed 1 all season. Matter of fact, they're riding the strength of 3 straight shutout victories. So the 2 goals given up tonight, more than the entire season for MC. We've got a corner kick and getting in a sub here.
This will be their 4th corner kick of the night. They had 3 in that first half. This being the first one of the second half. They were able to cash in on one in that first half. Isaac McFadden with the header. See if they can do it again.
Well defended by the Colts. Flames will get another crack at it. Got 7 players all crowded up in a line outside the 18, charging in now, as I think that play materialized a little bit late.
I think the guy's running for the inside that box was maybe a little too early. But now Hogger.
Yeah, one-on-one with Wyszynski. And I think that's just a gorgeous tackle. And that's been a fun battle all night long. Davis versus Connor in the open field. Just made the right step at the right time. And then Connor just falling down on his face like, dang it. I thought I had this one.
It was a great play between both sides right there. Hogger trying to push it in, but great tackle. Get a foot in there, knock the ball away, and Hogger not able to keep his feet. Would have been a big-time goal to tie this thing up with 29 minutes remaining, but the defense holds strong for the Flames.
And to your point in the first half about just the conditioning and all the running that you do in football, for example, receivers, they're making runs like that on a consistent basis, but then you get 40 seconds to catch your breath. Hogger's got to get right back up, sprint back, and play some defense, and the ball might come to you right again, and you got to be prepared to have the cardio conditioning to be ready to make a play when the opportunity presents itself back-to-back. But just like right here.
I think soccer's too, and the great aspect of basketball and football and the different kind of speed you got to have too, the stop and start speed, the change of direction, the great agility, and just on that last play we seen when Hogger had the ball pushing towards the goal, he used a great job of that. Not giving up his whole body and towards the momentum, but just stopping, and making the defender guess on where he was going. But a good opportunity here for the Colts, and that one's going to be shut down from Griffin Baker once again.
Forced shot by the Colts here in the second half. 2 on frame. Galloway electing to just bend that one. Basically just a shot on the keeper. Likely not by design.
So now Clear Fork here on last couple of possessions. They've had the opportunity here, but Hogger not able to get that one in. Tried to have a bicycle kick that. Try to pull a fast one there, Brian. Try to get the ball in quick. Ref didn't really give a call directly that it was Mansfield Christian ball.
Well, I think Hogger's got a great point.
Right.
There was no whistle for a dangerous play with him getting his foot up at face level, which there probably should have been a whistle. And the ball clearly went off a Clear Fork, off of Mansfield Christian. So I just think it's tough. We've got such an official shortage. We only have 2 for this match. In most matches, if we're lucky, are only having 2 officials. I've done a couple games where they just have 1. So sometimes calls are going to be missed. Might have been the case there. As Wyszynski puts this one over the wall. Man! Backside. 2 bodies were crashing in. Smith had the best chance at it. And now the Colts just going to clear.
Big missed opportunity there for the Flames. They were able to cash in with another beautiful place ball, too. They've been passing the ball tremendously, but especially on goals that they've scored. We've seen the 2 headers from McFadden. They've been putting the ball in a great spot and been setting up teammates in great ways, and it's done wonders for them tonight. But if they were able to cash in there, Brian, and splash that one in the back of the net, it would have been huge. With just now 26 minutes remaining. Still, obviously plenty of time, but time will begin to become a factor. It's a lot harder to come down from 1 goal to 2.
Hogger just murdered that ball well over the top. But what a flick on to set him up. Check this out. Boom, boom, 2 touches, and it gets their speedy potential All-Ohioan in space on the fly. It's just tough when you're going that fast sometimes to drive the ball down. Hogger wasn't able to.
Thing for Hogger, too, he had 2 to 3 guys on him. He didn't have much space to really get anything, get a great shot off. Just try to, make Baker work and see if you get a little lucky. Maybe falls past the keeper, put a great touch on it. But I think Clear Fork's now starting to get that time of possession back to about even. They've had the ball the last couple of possessions, but still Mansfield Christian able to do what they do and kind of numb that as they're going to stay with the Flames.
Throw-in's going to work its way all the way into the box. Blasted out here by the Colts. And I see that we've got a youth Flames player making his way up into the box now, or our press box, and he's got ice cream, so clearly he must have scored a goal tonight. It's exciting times.
Honestly thought the ice cream might have been for me, but understand. I think the goal deserves it, and that's okay.
Well, he had his mouth draped all over the cone, G, so you're welcome probably to get a bite, but it's going to come with a little bit of saliva.
We'll go ahead and pass on that one, Brian. Maybe I can I could probably afford a night without, the sugar and the ice cream, so I'll go ahead and pass.
It's going to be the 3rd foul on Mansfield Christian here in the second half. Colts have had some decent-looking setups here off the set pieces. Not this time, as that's headed out almost immediately by Zerby. Full wall of defenders for Clear Fork waiting back. But Mansfield Christian at least able to flip the field momentarily, get into the attacking third.
Let me ask you, Brian, when do you think it gets to a point in time when Clear Fork begins to maybe press a little bit and kind of start getting on the offense attack even more than they are now, kind of setting everybody up to try to get that lone goal that's separating here 3-2. Just 23-20 remaining in the second half.
I think with their style of play that there's really no reason to panic until about the 3-minute mark if you're still behind. Then that's when you start thinking about taking Blakely, who's an excellent guy in the field. Just don't take him out of the game. Just move him up and have him try to help you score some goals, because I've always said, what does it matter if you lose 5-2 or 3-2?
Right.
Hello, you're playing to win the game out here.
Exactly.
So just with what they have with both Beachy and Hogger, they're such a one-man fast break type of athlete. I don't think that there's any need to have to kind of change your ability or your approach, I should say, rather here. Stick with it if you're Clear Fork. You're getting some good looks, You just hope that you cash in sooner than later.
They've had some pretty solid opportunities here in the second half. I think even better than they did in the first half. Other than the 2 PKs, they've had a couple of chances down here, a couple corner kicks where they haven't been able to get anything going. But it's at least been promising to, kind of hang your hat on that we can get down there, we can set ourselves up for maybe a chance to cash in and score that tying goal here.
Mansfield Christian got much different plans. They would love to extend the lead out to a 4-2 advantage as Zerby chucks one into the box yet again. Bicycle attempt, and it comes down. That's going to sail just a bit wide off the right foot of Anthony Smith. But Mansfield Christian, again, see the ability of these guys. At least getting some good opportunities.
I thought they did a great job of saving that ball from any Clear Fork defender trying to get to it, and great patience, too, from Smith there. He could have forced a shot, but kind of waited just a couple feet away from, tickling that bottom left corner for a goal. So we still sit at 3-2.
Bronson Frost drew a double team up at the top. So he loses it over to MC. And we'll see who's going to win possession here eventually. Ball been up for grabs. Look like Colonel's popping in the microwave. Big bag of popcorn. And ending with a foul against Mansfield Christian, or Clear Fork rather.
Other than those 3 fouls for Mansfield Christian, 2 of them coming on those PKs. Pretty clean game here for the Flames so far here tonight. Oh!
Smith drives it in, just broke up, and floating it over the top was Tristan Johnson, looking for his 3rd goal of the season. Look at all these different chances. 1, 2, and then the 3rd for Johnson. Boy, he's got to be sick because Blakely's out of net. All he has to do is drive it down, and you can tell just rushed it.
I want to talk about a dodge bullet for Clear Fork. I can completely flip the script here if Mansfield Christian isn't able to capitalize on anything, but I think that would have changed completely what the game is, Brian, if they were able to put one in the back of the net too. Make it 4-2 and really make Clear Fork get more aggressive on the offensive end. But right here could be a fatal opportunity.
Here's Smith looking for the cross. And it'll be a 3rd corner kick opportunity in the second half for MC on the way, who's got 5 shots here in the second stanza. Only 2 of them, though, have been on target. They are much more direct and accurate in the first half. Ball drifting back towards midfield. And another corner. It's going to be Alex Mayer triggering. Back post. And headed out of there by Clear Fork. I think it was Hager who was able to get to it first.
I think Nate Gailey and his staff, they made a great adjustments on the corner kicks from Mansfield Christian. They cashed in on 2 of them in the first half. Not able to do so here in the second half, and I think it's a credit to Clear Fork's defense. They've been able to get the clear, get the head on the ball, get the foot on the ball, and kind of clear it out of there. Hopefully those opportunities for the Colts, if you're a fan, turn into some offensive chances on the other end.
Here's Hager going to send it forward. Broken up. And it takes a hop into the fan section. And I see a mixed match down here of Mansfield Christian and Clear Fork girls soccer players sitting together. How about that in harmony after a head-to-head matchup? Gee, I just don't think back in the day that you would see that too much, but these modern-day kids, man, they're fine just being buddies off the field and then getting after it when they're on the surface.
You just flip a switch, Brian, and surprised. So a late whistle, but back to your point, Brian, I think you just kind of flip a switch. When you step between those lines and step on that field or step on the gridiron or step on the court, whatever sport you're playing, I think nowadays you can take a step back when you come off and kind of just rejoice and still be able to hang out and be friends. But I still think that competitive edge is still there when you're back on the field.
Corner kick number actually it's going to be a deep throw-in. Thought initially the call was for a Mansfield Christian corner. And it will be now on the opposite side of the field. This will be their 5th set-piece opportunity as we're down to 17:10 to go here from Comstock Field. If you're just joining us, it was 3-2 at the break. A lot of goals in the opening couple of minutes, 3 to be exact, in less than 7. And then we waited about 20 more till we got the equalizer from Clear Fork. And then McFadden with his 2nd goal gave Clear Fork the lead. Nearly extended it there as Everode got ahead on it. But MC's going to stay on the attack with McFadden. He's got a couple defenders on him. Colts are able to clear.
Big chance here for the Colts. They retain possession, too. So a little momentum, got to stop defensively, see if they can get it to cash in. Got it to their best player in space, Connor Hogger, showing off the ball skills, baby. Look at this.
Outrageous that he still has the rock. And he shoots.
Wow.
It's deflected to Baker's hands. It looked
was
like he was going to
ridiculous.
lose it like 4 times.
I mean, that ball was on a yo-yo. I mean, that was ridiculous, the way he was able to keep it attached to his body, keep it on the foot. And Hogger showing great foot skills, and this is going to be a foul against the Colts. A little bit of a shoulder check there.
Yeah, physical foul. The 5th. It's going to go against Clear Fork here in the second half. And you see McFadden a little bit shaken up, but, I mean, he's their header specialist. They're going to need him here off this set piece, and I'm sure that he's going to find some energy to elevate when the time is right.
The coach, too, you got to wake up after that possession from Hogger. A great play, but not able to cash in. Can't let them get an easy goal here, and nice save from Mr. Blakely back there, who's been pretty rock solid other than the 3 goals that Mansfield Christian was able to capitalize on. 2 coming from, I think, were just great passes and pretty remarkable plays that will go down in our top 10, I think, for this season.
He's got 3 saves here in the second half. Down to 15 minutes to go. I think a big match for both sides. For Mansfield Christian, this is one that just gives you a ton of confidence going against a D2 and a school like Clear Fork, who the last couple of years they've posted 11 wins each of the last 3 seasons. Whereas MC trying to resurrect a little bit from the ashes. Last year was their first winning season in the previous 5. So this is a big stage for them, I think, to get a big win. And for Clear Fork, just because they're going to only play 3 games basically over the next month after today, you'd love to get a W and just feel a little bit better about yourself with all these practices coming up.
We talked about a pregame a little bit, Brian. I think that it's a great barometer. This is just coming in here, especially for Mansfield Christian. If they were to pull this off, beating the D2 team that you mentioned, that Clear Fork hasn't traditionally always been a powerhouse in boys soccer, but they're getting better, and each and every year it seems as if they get better. We kind of talked about it a little bit earlier about how Ontario has kind of been their kryptonite as well as Lexington when they had those great teams, going in the state. But if Clear Fork's able to win this, you mentioned they got that big long rest period where it's like they play 1 game a week for the next 3 weeks. To be able to get this win, at least hang your hat on that. And this one's going to be a foul, I believe, on Hogger, but showing good sportsmanship there, helping up the flame. But I think that one was a great sell there, Brian. I think that's the play that you get where I like that. You got the ball back for your team. How did it hurt you in whatsoever way? Would be my argument if you're arguing, the flopping game, I guess.
I mean, I'm always on record as saying, hey, if it helps your team,
right?
Who cares what the naysayers say? Just because somebody in Twitter is like, oh, look at this guy. Does that matter? No, of course it doesn't. It's all about you and your boys and getting that possession. And Clear Fork going to start running out of them here as we're sub 13 minutes, but plenty of time, of course. All they need is just to pop off real quick, get it up top to Hogger, and let him try to shake loose. And he's had a couple opportunities here in the second half to do just that. Flames defend it well this time, but it'll stay down here in the attacking third with Clear Fork.
Talked about it earlier in the broadcast for Mansfield Christian. You're not going to be able to completely shut down Hogger. We've seen him get the PK, and we've seen him here in the second half have a couple opportunities pushing the ball, deep into the box. But when he's had the ball in those situations, he's had 2, 3 guys on him where he's got to pull, a Houdini move out of his hat. We've seen it the last play. A couple plays ago, we've seen him, with the ball skills. But he's got to be able to make that play and score off of that, I think, for them to be like, okay, maybe we're in deep trouble here. But so far, they've been able to at least contain him a bit to at least have that 3-2 lead.
This one chipped out into space. Hogger tracking in the middle, broken up by Everode. Flames taking their time. That's just a great sliding tackle here. Perfectly timed and executed by Galloway. Born to the middle, just mismeasured. Try to get it back to Bo. And we've got the defense just going back and forth here.
About to be under 11 minutes remaining here. And Mansfield Christian with the ball on their side with the lead too, so Flames trying to get another opportunity to try to get on the board and put this one away. But as you see, Hogger, you got to be careful with this dude. He gets in the patch lane, Brian gets to see it right there. It could be, off to the races, and we're tying this thing up at 3. So you got to be careful and mindful of where the playmakers are for the Colts here. Don't want to get too lackadaisical with your passes. Stay on top of things and try to ride this 10 minutes out and pick up a big win against a D2 school.
Colts are playing with 2 guys up top. They've got Wilson along with Hogger. 3 defenders back at all times at this point, though, for Mansfield Christian. Playing a little bit more of a defensive-minded game as we're getting on short time notice here, approaching the 10-minute mark. And so we'll see if the strategy does begin to evolve a little bit more for Stephen Armstrong. If he starts playing back a little bit more and only sending a couple of guys forward, dribbling into corners, trying to run down some time, strategy really starts to change. Maybe not yet, but in about 3-4 more minutes of game action, that's when you might start implementing more of a strategic defensive mindset if you're Mansfield Christian. As McFadden, how many times has he been able to get a lid on it in the box?
That was unbelievable. I didn't even understand really what was going on there. And somehow, I thought it was going out of bounds. Goalkeeper had to save it. It might have fell in there. And big contact down here.
Yeah, it's not just the football boys with the pads that have these big collisions. Nice shot by Galloway backside. It's going to fall down to Wyszynski. MC's able to clear. Try to work it through Connor Luce. Nick Martin down on the field for Clear Fork, so we're going to get a time stoppage. He's back up trying to shake it off. And Nick was part of that collision that we were talking about. A replay was up, but both him and Everode, they collided very hard. Here's a look on the Knox Community Hospital replay.
Ooh.
That's just a freshman getting trucked like that. So it's a little bit eye-opening when you get into these varsity minutes and you're going up against a senior come flying in from his defensive spot.
I think he's able to shake it off, Brian. He was able to get off the field on his own power, jog off. So at least a good sign here for the Colts and Nick Martin. Let's look at a sub coming into the game. That's going to be Caleb Peters, the junior. So we'll get a fresh opportunity here, and probably the biggest part of the season inserted right in the lineup.
Looks like they've switched. Jaden Beachy now is playing center mid. They've got 2 strikers up top, does Clear Fork. Whistle's going to go down as a handball. 4th foul now on Mansfield Christian. Colts with a big blast. Headed to the outside of the box. Hogger wasn't able to track it down and keep it in. As we're back into our fan zone, I want to say what's up to everybody watching in Facebook and YouTube land.
Zerby lining up to throw that cannon. Almost an opportunity there for Clear Fork. That would have been Beachy if he's able to get that ball around the defender.
Right at Zerby. He's able to head it out of there. Or Everode, rather. I think that was a design play to get it back to Galloway. And just him and Caleb Peters both in the same spot. Hogger tripped up just outside the box. Doesn't draw the whistle. Then another big collision. It's getting a little bit more intense, I think, with the physicality as we're approaching the championship minutes. 7 minutes remaining here.
I think the frustration for the Colts might be boiling over. Now down in this game, getting the late stages. I think now under the 7-minute mark, now is begin when I think you start to press things a little bit and you start to get on the offense attack like no other. I mean, you got to start sending guys at the goal, try to get it into some of your best players' hands. Because right now, at least just try to tie this thing up before this 6:35 runs out.
Definitely getting pretty close to hit the panic button mode for Clear Fork. Not quite yet. I think you can still stick with your game plan. Again, they've got their 2 studs still in the match that at any point in time, if you can get it to them, as they're going to try here, initiating the offense with Beer, but it's a great defensive play and taken away by Everode. So you got to credit Mansfield Christian for the most part not allowing these 2 awesome juniors of Clear Fork to shake loose, as we've seen in many of their other matches throughout the season.
So far in this second half, the clamps have been on. They've been clamping up these Colts, Brian. And look at this once again. Hogger going to call the foul here. So back to Hogger and the Colts with the ball, but this is a dazzling kid in the open space. I mean, you get the ball in his hands. I mean, he's splitting defenders. The ball's on a string. I mean, it's remotely nice.
Great play. Baker read it all the way. Then a massive punt. It's going to make its way all the way back to Blakely. One more look. Yeah, Baker didn't play no games. He shot off of his line. This one's going to roll out of bounds for a Clear Fork throw. Peters lobbing it in. Too tall for Hogger. And for Mansfield Christian, that's the right play there by Martin. Just put it down in the corner and let that clock continue to funnel down as the substitution. And this is another part of the high school game that becomes the strategy, making these subs towards the end. 4:41 to go.
Time beginning to milk away, become a factor for these Colts. Just 4:41 remaining. Going to get a sub here. Looks like that's Peter checking out.
Get Hayden Wilson in his place. Bourne hits that off the side of his foot almost, so it's going to stay with Mansfield Christian, who's in no particular rush here. McFadden finally gets the rock in his hands.
So Mansfield Christian, Brian, they're going to keep possession here. This is going to be a throw-in, and gonna let you guess who's throwing this puppy in.
That's the guy with the Mega Mind arm.
Whew.
Or Mega Man, I should say. You ever play that video game?
I did not.
Might be too old for you. It was a good one. It was a guy named Mega Man. He literally had a gun for an arm. I would liken Luke Zerby to him very much.
The guy's got a cannon attached.
He's definitely the Patty Mahomes of high school soccer in this area. Mansfield Christian just looking to hang on to possession, find feet. Great ball movement, 4 straight connecting passes.
Whew.
But now here comes the human joystick, Connor Hager. And he didn't have possession. I still think he got fouled. Didn't earn a whistle. But Clear Fork will get the ball back here with 2:40 to go. And this is where, all right, break glass, panic button. Maybe Griffin Blakely's got to start moving forward a bit.
Mansfield Christian did a great job, too, with still keeping the pressure on, I think. Force him to stay back there. I think now you got to throw all your efforts in trying to get this goal. With just 2:20 remaining.
Hoover did a good job being patient. Now hooks up with Neal. Martin through the middle of the field. Nice pressure by the Colts. Takes it away. But then they re-gift it out of bounds as McCauley off target with the pass. Bourne content just to put it out of play. And the Flames going to bring up Zerby as they should.
Still trying to get some points here, Brian.
Big lob into the box. Couple MC players had a chance at it. McFadden went down. He's back up, was shaken up a little while. And he's clearly offsides. He's trying to, shake off the cobwebs and get back. He did. And look at Zerby. That was Hageresque.
Not only can he throw it 40 yards, Brian, he can also do it with his feet too, and they're weaving and bobbing. Almost able to get a shot, but now just a minute remaining.
We'll see if Blakely does elect to start moving forward. He is. He's kind of trotting his way up towards the top of the box, and no way! Hager loose! Backside! It gets broken up. Hayden Wilson was basically solo acting it. Don't know how he didn't get a clean shot into the back. How? Oh, how? Oh, he's sick. Sets up Johnson back the other way, able to blister a shot. And now Blakely needs to get off a huge punt. He does. 17 seconds as it hits the turf. And Clear Fork got to send everybody up. And here's McFadden giving it off. The last touch belongs to Weston Neal. Mansfield Christian survives. Wow, I just cannot believe Clear Fork had that great of an opportunity down the stretch. One more look. Hager off the cross. Taylor made for a tap-in. And the lip out from Hayden Wilson sends the Flames to their 4th consecutive victory. We're going to step aside. We will be back with our Park National Bank post-game show that'll include some final stats, give you our thoughts on tonight's contest, and then have an interview with our player of the match. We want to hear from you, the fans, though. Drop us a comment. Let us know who you think is worthy of being MVP, and we'll invite that player up into the box for a conversation with yours truly. That's all on the other side. Keep it here, our live and free post-game. We'll return in just a moment.
Welcome to Richland County's first artificial intelligence ATM. If you car dance to the song you're listening to now, I will give you $50. See, that's something an ATM can never do.
Oh my gosh, are you serious?
Oh, we're serious.
Gosh, that's awesome. Thank you.
Thank you. We hope your day is a little bit better today.
Yes, thank you.
Maumee Bay Turf Center, a leader in synthetic sports services as well as natural field construction, maintenance, and renovation. Maumee Bay Turf is part of Turf Nation, the most trusted source in the synthetic turf industry, including creating the surface for the biggest game in pro football. From professional, college, and high school sports to recreation and commercial projects. Check them out at MaumeeBayTurfCenter.com and see our large collection of finished projects and services. Maumee Bay Turf Center, we build better.
What's up, America? Brian Skowronski here, and if you want to see me and the gang chop it up with some unintelligent conversation, we've got the show for you. Check out the OH Report video podcast every Monday, exclusively right here on the OH Report.
Wow, really exciting match here tonight at Comstock Field. Mansfield Christian survives and holds on for a 3-2 victory over Clear Fork in an all-Richland County showdown. I'm Brian Skowronski, got Garret Parlett with me here tonight, and all the scoring coming in the first half, which was fun, but the second half, I think, arguably just as exciting.
Yeah, you didn't see a lot of, goals scored, obviously, but plays that were pretty remarkable. Connor Hogger, man, he showcased his ball skills out there, out on the pitch, and great defensive effort really from both teams. But I think this is a huge win for Mansfield Christian. The only 2 goals they allowed were off penalty kicks, so all fouls. I think you can correct those mistakes and take that, and put it in your hat, because they don't get those penalty kicks. This will be a 3-0 game, and Mansfield Christian has some high momentum heading in, to the rest of the season. Now starting out 4-1, great start here for the Flames, for a team last year that only won 9 games, and other than that, the past couple of seasons haven't been their best ball. But for group last year, 9-6 last season, now 4-1, so they've already at the halfway point almost to recapping last season. So great start here for Mansfield Christian. Able to get a big win against a D2 school. That's a very good school, too, in Clear Fork, I believe, in boys soccer.
Dissect these final stats here a little bit, brought to you by Park National Bank. You see all the shots by Mansfield Christian, and most of them on target too. So when the Flames were uncorking them, they were trying to find the mark, did a nice job of keeping them on frame. Clear Fork on the other side, just 13 shots for them, and in the second half, they were able to produce a couple of opportunities, but in the beautiful game, opportunities just don't mean that much if you don't capitalize. We just saw 2 nights ago or 3 nights ago a Clear Fork girls squad that had 39 shots on net and came away with 0 goals. So it doesn't matter if you're not taking full advantage. Mansfield Christian was able to do that a little bit better tonight.
Well, we saw that, the last play for Clear Fork, really their last gasp, but it was that perfect setup from Connor Hauger to Wilson over there, and he wasn't able to capitalize. And would have been a tie game at the end of the day. Would have been a draw, but not able to capitalize. And I think that's something Clear Fork, that's going to be beating themselves up about. They could have tied this game. Would have been a tie game. They had the great opportunity there to do it, but just weren't able to cash in. And that's really going to be the story of this game, I think. 3-2, big win for Mansfield Christian. So hats off to them. But I think Clear Fork they were right there. Tie that game at the end.
Mansfield Christian definitely going to sleep well tonight. Well-deserved win. And then on the other side for Hayden Wilson, probably got to be a little bit sick, I think. But it is time for, I think, everybody's favorite part of the broadcast. That's right, it's MVP time. And we are now back with our North Central State College Player of the Game. I've got the junior from Mansfield Christian with me, Isaac McFadden. You had 2 spectacular goals tonight, and you had an awesome aerial display, just getting up, getting ahead on the ball. Obviously, that's something that you work on, and your teammates look for you. Where did that come from, and how long have you been the guy that just flies up 5 feet in the air and goes and makes a play?
I don't know. I just try to be aggressive and go after the ball. Luke's throw is very, very good throw. I'm just happy I can finish off of that.
Let's talk a little bit more about what Zerby brings to the table with that throw-in. I don't know that there's another player in our area that's comparable. It's almost like having 20 corner kicks a match when you have a guy like Luke Zerby. How much are you guys working at that at practice? And when did you guys discover that he could throw the ball 40 yards in the air?
Well, right into high school he could throw it that far. It's pretty insane. I don't know. I've never seen anybody else who can throw it that far. So we practice corner kicks and just aerial stuff, but we don't usually practice throw-ins very often.
Take me through both of your goals. Let's begin with the first one. What do you remember about the setup and then ultimately the put away?
Well, he threw it up. I chase it down to the air, try to keep the defender on my back so that when I'm flicking it on or heading it towards the goal that they're not in my way or anything, and then I just go for the best and get it as best I can into the goal.
And if you want to break down the second goal for us as well?
Most of the same stuff. I couldn't really see because the lights are so bright. I saw it once it was right at me, so I guess it was kind of lucky, but I was in the right spot at the right time.
Well, 4 straight W's for you guys, and you've been playing such great defense. I think it's kind of been the catalyst for you putting together this nice win streak. But it was the offense tonight. You got off early and often, the 3 goals. How big does this victory feel over Clear Fork, a team that, they've won 11 games each of the last 3 years. They're a D2 school. Did this feel like a big barometer game for you guys?
Yeah, it felt good. We came in positive and excited, hoping for a win, coming out, doing our best, executing our game plan, and we're thankful for the win.
This is a program that, the last few years, you took a step up, 9 wins a season ago, but then before that, there was about 3-4 years that were kind of un-Mansfield Christian characteristically. You guys have had such great tradition. Does it feel like you're back on the rise and getting up to the caliber and the standard that has been put in place by so many teams before you?
Yeah, it feels good. We're coming back a little bit, it feels like. We just need to keep practicing and working hard and getting better.
All right, Isaac McFadden, our MVP. If you want to look straight into that camera, which you already are, you're doing a great job. And if there's anybody out there watching from Flames country that you want to thank or that you want to give a shout-out to, now's your chance. So many options. I know it's tough to choose sometimes.
I know. Thanks to the grandparents that came out and watched, and family, mom and dad, all the siblings.
All right, and thank you for joining us once again, Isaac McFadden, our MVP, presented by North Central State College. Have a good night. Enjoy this one, man.
Thank you.
All right, that's going to wrap up our coverage here from Comstock Field. Great performance by the Flames as they knock off Clear Fork 3-2. Go ahead. Final thoughts, G, about what you saw from both sides and where each of these teams you project them moving forward here as the season evolves.
Well, I think for Mansfield Christian, it's a huge win against a D2 program, and then they go on the likes to play Berlin, another tough team.
Yep.
So I think for Mansfield Christian, I think this is going to do more for them than it's going to do for Clear Fork if they were to win the game. So I think this is a huge momentum step for the Flames and for Clear Fork. You know, a loss that they were so close to getting, and they could have, you know, tied it up there, and it could have been a draw, but they got the next couple weeks to really regroup and let this sink in and let this marinate and go into the film room and, you know, fix their mistakes. They got a big one coming up against Ontario in a couple weeks, so I look forward to that, and I think that's a great test for them too, a kind of team that they're used to playing, a familiar foe that they haven't been able to, you know, really knock down here in a couple years. So for Clear Fork, I think they'll be just fine. I think that they got a lot to look back on this game. That was good, but a lot to improve on too, which is also a good thing that, you know, go into the rest of the week.
As the season continues to progress, I think both of these teams going to collect a lot more wins. But one thing I think we saw here tonight, the Flames are back, baby. This is the Mansfield Christian team of old that we are expecting. A lot of great ball movement, incredible communication, and they've got some fun, exciting players like McFadden and company that can get the job done. All right, go ahead, roll those highlights, shall we? Let's see. Want to thank all of our generous sponsors for help bringing you this match live and free on the OH Report like we always do, including Knox Community Hospital on our replays, Park National Bank, who was bringing you the coverage of the pregame, the halftime, and the postgame, Mechanics Bank for sponsoring our scoreboard. We also had some commercial sponsors like North Central State College. I think Park was on there as well. And Maumee Bay Turf Center for Adam Thompson, Desmond Lawrence, Keaton Cooper. Sorry, Keaton. We got new guys working here tonight. My name is Brian Skowronski for Garret, Parlett. Appreciate you watching. We'll be on more live streams all week. Just keep it locked in on the OH Report all the time. See you then.